All right, people, what is going on? What is going on? This is episode 276 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller, and over here we talk about Georgia Southern football and Atlanta Falcons football. And unlike yesterday, we actually have something to talk about when it comes to Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. So hopefully you guys actually, hang out with me and enjoy the show. Once again, thank you guys for the viewership and the listenership. The podcast side of things is just blowing up. I noticed a lot of people, and it's kind of typical because a lot of people want to listen to this at their own leisure in the most convenient way. And for the most part, people are, I see some people are subscribing to the podcast, going through that avenue, and they're downloading the podcast whenever they get ready. Now, I mean, that's awesome. I appreciate all of it. I really do. I can't thank you guys enough. To be quite honest, I'm just trying to do everything I can to put out the best quality content possible. So I'm going to keep pushing. Hopefully you guys will continue to, support, because I really, really appreciate it. Viewership, listenership, both. Definitely the listenership is up, and it's all thanks to you guys. I can't thank you guys enough. So if this is your first time here, welcome once again. If this is your first time here to listen, it's your first time actually, hearing about this, I appreciate you coming by. If this is your first time on the podcast side of things, a welcome as well. Anybody can like the video or like the podcast. Give me a 5-star rating if you don't mind. And I'm going to try to continue to push the best content possible. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Man, Matt Hassan. Who is Matt Hassan? We're going to talk about who that is, and we're going to actually find out. Now, I ain't going to say find out. Yeah, I guess you can say that. We're going to find out more about him. We're going to actually see what he's made of and what type of experience that he's going to bring to Georgia Southern. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this. He's been named the Assistant Athletic Director for Football Operations at Georgia Southern. Clay Helton announced it, I think it was like a week ago or whatever the case may be. This is my first time actually, getting to this. I knew of this news, but I never just found a way to put it into the show. So this is my first time really talking about it. He comes from the University of Troy, where he was serving Director of Football Operations over there for the past 2 seasons. Before that, let's see where he was at. Before that, he was at Mercer for a year. So at Mercer University in I think it's in Macon, Georgia. So he was over there as well. And before that, he had a 3-year stint with Auburn football staff, and where he served as the defensive a defensive analyst for the 2018 season, and he was there as operations assistant from 2016 to 2018. Prior to that, he was on the coaching staff at Concordia University in Chicago, where working with the running backs in 2014 and tutoring linebackers in 2015, as well as coordinating academics, video, and social media. He was before that, he was the running backs coach at Alma College in 2013. So he's been basically climbing up the ranks, so he's been doing a lot to get to where he is, and looks like he has a lot of experience in college football. And I think he's going to be, from what I see here, I don't see how he can not be a good asset to Georgia Southern football program, especially with everybody else around him. You got Jared Benko, you got Clay Helton, you got Clay Helton's staff, you got all the people that are in, are in the circle of Jared Benko. I think he's going to be, I don't know much about him, but based on his resume, like he's going to be okay for Georgia Southern. It's going to be really exciting to see what he brings to the table, because basically his day-to-day operations are going to be, he's going to be helping with or pretty much be responsible for team travel, meals, scheduling, and controlling the program's budget. So that's a really big, he has a pretty big task on his hands. So this is actually, pretty significant for Georgia Southern, what they, for Mr. Hassan brings to the table and what he's actually set out to do. So this is going to be a pretty good, I ain't going to say this is going to be pretty good, but this is going to be really interesting to see how this plays out, because this is more like a behind the scenes type stuff. You don't really get to see this as a fan or a person that watches football or cover the team like I do, but just watching how everything plays out, he's going to be playing a big role. Guys like him and all the coordinators and the coaching staff and all this other stuff, you don't really talk too much about that actual day-to-day operations or what they actually do, because, we just see like, okay, what if we just hear about the names? Okay, this coach is doing that, this person's doing that, the AD's doing that, and we just look at results. So with that being said, we're going to have to see the results of what this team is going to do. Now, there's been a lot of turnaround in Georgia Southern. Everybody knows this. I mean, like the old staff, for the most part, has been like 98, 99% wiped out. So you got most of the guys in the football operations are basically new people. And you're really going to see things change right away. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Things are going to change right away based on what we've seen in years past. So what I'm looking forward to, not just with Mr. Hassan, just with the team in general, how spring practice is going to be. Because we already see how recruiting is. Recruiting is like ridiculously aggressive, and I love every bit of it. But when you look at this, we're going to be looking at a situation like how spring practice is going to be, how regular practice is going to be, how the student athletes respond to all of this, how this all plays out. And this is going to be, this is probably like one of the most interesting year in Georgia Southern football history, in my opinion. So, because this is the first time that Georgia Southern is actually making a big transition from what we're known to do. We've definitely been a run first, pass, pretty much zero offense. We pride ourselves in running the flex bone, wishbone, or just a flat out option. We basically pride ourselves in that, and now we're flipping it to something totally different. And I don't know. I'm a little nervous of how this plays out, because everybody that that has been recruited so far, for the most part, are young. They may play right away, but they're young. We still got a lot of older guys out of here that are used to that style of play. We want to see how that plays out as well. Like I said, a part of me is nervous, but another part of me is just excited. It's very exciting because now, like, okay, we got some players here that can actually run this offense. We got, some athletes, and it's going to be different. And with all the athletes we already had, maybe they can acclimate themselves over to the new style. It's just a lot of that. So I'm really, really interested to see how this plays out. Before I go over to the next topic, when we talk about the Falcons and their new hire, I'm just so thankful to be a part of this. Watching the Georgia Southern Eagles, transition from a 3-9 season to possible a flip that's going to be one of the biggest ones that we've seen since like 2017 to 18. 2017 went 2-10, turned around and went 10-3. Won 10 games, won the Camellia Bowl. It was a really good time. Hopefully we can match that success once again, and that'll be awesome to see. So if you like this content, hit the like button if you're on YouTube. Also, if you're on the podcast avenue, thank you. And give me you don't have to give me a 5-star rating, which I would love to have a 5-star rating. Just give me a high rating, man. Let people know what I'm doing over here. And also subscribe, because the more people subscribe, more people that rates the channel or rates the podcast, more eyes get on it, and we'll have more people listening and discussing the content. Then that's always a good thing. So that'll be quite awesome. Now, let's flip gears and get into the other topic at hand. And right now, the Atlanta Falcons are doing something. This is pretty significant. They're doing something pretty significant right here. They hired Micheal Pitre as running back coach. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to let you know, he comes from the Chicago Bears. And there are people like, okay, why are we hiring somebody from the Chicago Bears? Chicago Bears is not that good, or whatever the case may be. I'm going to let you know about that in a second. First and foremost, Desmond Kitchen was our running backs coach. He left to go to be the offensive coordinator for Virginia. Not mad at that. Pitre was his first full season coaching in the NFL. And he was already, in other places. He was a part of the well, let me take that back. Yeah, he was a part of this. He was a scouting intern in 2009, and then we don't want to go that further back. Before this job that he had the 1 year at in Chicago, he had a 3-year stint at Oregon State from 2018 to 2020. He helped the Oregon State rushing attack. They end up getting about 166 yards per game, averaging almost 4.5 yards a carry. And so he knows a little bit about this thing right here called running the ball. He also spent time as a running back coach at Montana State and the University. Oh, he also worked as a grad assistant at the University of Colorado. So one thing I will say about this before I go into how this fits in Atlanta Falcons football, we all know that Atlanta Falcons was not very good at running the ball. First of all, the offensive line just wasn't there. The running backs themselves didn't play too well. Our most productive running back was pretty much a wide receiver with Cordell Patterson. I'm not knocking that because Cordell Patterson was amazing for us this year and was one of the reasons why we won how many games we won. But that's not really ideal. I want to say this. While Pitre was the running back coach for the Bears finished the last season with the second best rushing attack. So this is a big deal for the Atlanta Falcons. If he can get that type of success in the running game for the Atlanta Falcons, now we're talking a situation where Matt Ryan to be more protected. He doesn't have to pass as much, and we'll be able to play a little bit more aggressive with the running game. Now, with this being said, first and foremost, we're going to have to do two things. We're going to have to get an offensive line or a better personnel on the offensive line, and we're definitely going to have to get another running back because I like Mike Davis. Mike Davis is capable of having a bounce back season, but I think it's a high risk situation. Not saying that he can't do it, but it's like I said, it's too much to invest in my opinion. Just sit there, look, we're not going to get another running back. We're just going to go in with Mike Davis. I don't think that's an ideal move. Quadri Allison showed some promise at some times, but he's on a 1-year deal, so we don't even know he's going to be coming back. Davis is going to be here. This is going to be his second year of his 2-year contract. Now they could let him go. And then they let him go, then they're going to have to pay like $750,000 in dead cap money, which and it'll be a cap hit of $3.25 million. I don't think that'll be ideal. He's probably just going to be they're probably going to keep him. As far as Cordell Patterson goes, he wants to be a Falcon. He wants to stay a Falcon. He said this on numerous occasions, but with the, salary cap situation the way it is, I don't know how that's going to play out. I think they could go ahead and try to draft a running back. There's a few of them out there. I don't want to go down the names. There's a few that I've been looking at that could be pretty productive in this offense if we can tighten up that that offensive line a little bit, and that would be pretty cool because you would want to get You want to get another running back for the future. I mean, you see it, how things are played out now where some running backs come in right away and they're just pretty much productive. But like I said, it has to go back to the offensive line. So with that being said, it's going to be interesting because the Falcons actually did okay in running. They led 15th in the league in running with what they already had, which that is actually... That just seems kind of off. I wouldn't think they'd rank 15. That's basically in the middle of the pack in the league because I thought they was like worse than that. But with bringing Pitre on, he pushed the Bears to have the second best rushing attack. So, honestly, I think the Falcons are really one running back away. I think they do need to get another running back. They're probably going to end up getting rid of Quadri Allison. This is his last season on this is his last contract with the Falcons. There's 1 year left. And I don't know. I don't see him coming back. I think they'll probably just go ahead and get somebody else, because even with Allison, when he looked good, there were times that he backslid a little bit and got a few fumbles. And I don't even want to talk about Mike Davis. Mike Davis just did not have a good season at all. Cordell Patterson, like I said, he was the one that was more of a he was more productive than the others. Even though Allison did play well down the stretch for like the last 3 games, he started to catch on a little bit. But I don't know if it's even viable to keep Allison. It's probably just better just to look into the draft. And like I said, there's a few running backs that's coming out that's going to be pretty good. And they can get them in later rounds. So no rush, no worries on that front. So at the end of the day, I like the pickup. I like what they're doing. You know, I always like what George. I know I like everything that George Southern's been doing since Clay Helton has been hired. So that's a good thing. But when you look at the situation with the Falcons, this is an interesting hire, and I think it's going to be a little, I think this could be a pretty significant hire. I'm a little skeptic at the end of the day of the Falcons, because even with the possibility of a division bust wide open because of Sean Payton going and possibly Tom Brady, still don't know the whole situation with that. It looked like if Tom Brady do retire, it looked like the NFC South is up for grabs for the Falcons. It looked like they could be able to do it. And one of the best ways to do it is to try to keep Matt Ryan upright. And one way to keep him upright, if he can just hand the ball off over to a prominent running back and let the running back do some work, or get some nice passes in there where the defense has, have to respect what Matt Ryan does with his arm. And they won't, if they try to blitz, Matt Ryan to get the ball out really quick. So we'll see how that all plays out. All right, y'all. If you guys like this podcast, I really, really want you guys to let me know. Give me some feedback. If you're on the YouTube side of things, go ahead and give me some feedback. Hit the like button if you don't mind as well. That'll be quite awesome. If you're on the podcast side of things, like I said, go ahead and find a way to hit those stars. I like to have 4 or 5 star rating, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because you can subscribe on either one. And if you YouTube or podcast, and if you do subscribe to the podcast, you can get it away. It can download for you automatically, and with you can listen to it at your leisure. Now, like I said, I am on iTunes, Google, Spotify, Anchor. I think I'm on Stitcher as well. So, like I said, you guys can come through and find your way to get to this podcast. That'd be awesome. So that's pretty much it for me. I'm going to get up out of here. I really appreciate all the support. If you guys are willing to, and I will close this out with this because this is completely optional, but if you want to support this podcast with a small donation, either it be one time or monthly, it doesn't matter. The link is down in the description. If you are on the podcast side of things, you can contribute to help this podcast going. If not, I totally understand, but I am putting that option out there because every little bit helps. It doesn't matter if it's $1, $4, $10, whatever. If you want to make a small donation or a monthly contribution, the option is there for you. So hopefully you guys will check all that out. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you guys on the next one. You guys enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you guys for episode 277. All right, y'all. You guys be blessed. Peace.